Imagine for a second that it is 3 a.m. and your eyes snap open like a light switch has been flipped in a dark room. You stare at the ceiling while the silence of the house feels heavy. Your mind immediately begins to race through a checklist of tomorrow's anxieties or yesterday's regrets. Most people think this is stress or aging, but what's actually happening inside your brain at 3 a.m. is far more precise and far more fixable than you think. There is one specific mistake in your evening routine that almost guarantees you will wake up at this hour, and we're going to close that loop in just a moment. Here is the thing. What you do at 7 p.m. can strongly influence if you stay asleep at 3 a.m. What the recent sleep research actually shows is that your brain isn't waking you up because it's rested. It's waking you up because it's stuck in a state of sleep fragmentation. Millions of adults feel foggier every night, and most have no idea why. Today, we are breaking down the exact evening routine designed to anchor your nervous system and increase your chances of 8 hours of uninterrupted deep sleep. We will explore why your internal hourglass is leaking and how a simple shift can finally silence that 3 a.m. alarm clock in your brain. The bottom line is that you don't have a wakefulness problem. You have a transition problem. You're not lazy, and you haven't lost the ability to sleep. It's easy to feel frustrated when you've tried the weighted blankets and expensive teas, only to find yourself staring at the digital clock at 3:15 a.m. yet again. You might feel like your body is failing you, but from a biological standpoint, your brain is doing what it thinks it needs to do to keep you safe. Research suggests that middle-of-the-night awakenings are often a protective response to misfiring signals. This could be a minor blood sugar dip or a cortisol spike caused by poor evening priming. Your biology is incredibly efficient, but it's currently operating on a set of misaligned signals. This is where most people accidentally make things worse by trying to force sleep. That effort only increases the internal pressure. Think of a nervous system like a high-performance engine being shut off while it's still red-hot. Of course, it's going to sputter and restart. You need a ramp, not a cliff, to move from the chaos of the day into the silence of the night. But before we fix it, you need to understand why your brain chooses 3 a.m. specifically. To understand that, we have to look at your brain's cleaning crew. While you sleep, your brain activates something called the glymphatic system. Think of it as a cleaning crew that clears out waste. This crew only works effectively when your heart rate and core temperature are in a specific deep sleep zone. If your evening routine keeps your internal thermostat too high, the cleaning crew gets delayed. Think of your sleep pressure like an hourglass. Every hour you are awake, sand fills the bottom. By 3 a.m., that hourglass is nearly empty. Your sleep drive is at its weakest point. If you haven't properly suppressed your stress hormones, the tiny bit of cortisol that naturally rises in the early morning is enough to tip the scale. This is what we call the 60-second danger zone. It is that brief window where your brain decides whether to fall back into a dream or enter a state of full alertness. This brings us to the first phase of our protocol, the 3-hour sunset window. Research suggests your body needs a clear runway to transition to a melatonin-rich environment. Phase 1 is the digestive cutoff. When you eat a heavy meal too close to bed, your core temperature rises. Imagine a furnace burning in your stomach while you're trying to keep the bedroom cool. This heat signals to your brain that it's still active time. It prevents you from reaching the deepest stages of sleep where that cleaning crew does its best work. By closing the kitchen 3 hours early, you allow your insulin levels to stabilize. This may influence your ability to stay asleep through that 3 a.m. period. Phase 2 might be the most underestimated trigger for that 3 a.m. wake-up call. We call it digital twilight. About 2 hours before bed, the type of light entering your eyes is critical. It's not just about blue light. It's about total intensity. Picture a dimmer switch slowly turning down in every room of your house. You want to mimic the natural progression of the sun. By switching to warm, low-level lamps, you send a clear signal to your pineal gland. This starts the heavy lifting of melatonin production. This isn't just about falling asleep. It's about building a melatonin bridge to carry you all the way through to morning. Remember that small mistake I mentioned earlier? Most people keep their overhead lights at 100% intensity until the moment they go to bed. This tells your brain it's noon, not night, causing you to drop into wakefulness the moment your sleep drive weakens at 3 a.m. If you've been waking up at the same time every night, pay attention to this next part. This is usually where everything breaks down. Phase 3 focuses on the thermal dump. 1 hour before bed, your goal is to help your body drop its core temperature by about 1 degree Celsius. This might sound counterintuitive, but taking a warm shower or bath at this time actually helps. The warm water brings blood to the surface of your skin. When you step out into the cooler air, that heat escapes rapidly. This rapid cooling is a powerful biological trigger. It tells your brain it's time for deep rest. Don't skip this. It is often the missing piece for those who find themselves waking up feeling hot and bothered in the middle of the night. Imagine your body dumping all its excess heat like a radiator. You're preparing the internal environment for the janitorial staff to move in. Phase 4 is the brain dump and anchor. In the final 30 minutes, the goal is to move the mental furniture out of your conscious mind. Use a simple pen and paper to write down your top 3 priorities for the next day. This can significantly reduce sleep onset latency and midnight rumination. You're essentially telling your brain that you have a plan and it can stand down now. This creates the psychological safety needed to stay in the sleep state, even when the 3 a.m. cortisol ripple occurs. Bottom line, a quiet mind starts with a proactive evening. You are anchoring your consciousness so that it doesn't drift away into anxiety when the biological tide gets low. What many people fail to realize is that sleep is an active physiological performance. When you wake up at 3 a.m., your brain is stuck in a state of high beta wave activity. By implementing this protocol, you are training your brain to stay in slower, restorative waves for longer periods. This transition period provides a strong physiological support for anyone who wants to maintain peak cognitive function. This isn't just a luxury, it's a biological advantage. The consistency of this routine builds a powerful response. After just 7 days, your brain begins to prepare the neurochemical environment needed for 3 a.m. stability. The moment you dim the lights, your body starts the process. You are essentially automating your rest so that your conscious mind doesn't have to fight the battle every night. Here's the thing. Your biology is incredibly loyal to your habits. If you provide the right environment, your brain will reward you. The good news is that your body wants to sleep for 8 hours. You don't need a miracle. You just need a better set of instructions. Start tonight by picking just one of these phases, perhaps the digestive cutoff or the warm shower, and notice how your body responds. Small, consistent shifts in your evening environment can lead to massive changes. You don't have to live in a cycle of exhaustion and 3 a.m. frustration. By respecting the transition from day to night, you can finally reclaim those quiet hours of deep recovery. Imagine waking up feeling truly refreshed. That reality is closer than you think. What the research actually shows is that consistency is the most powerful tool in your health arsenal. You are rebuilding your relationship with sleep one evening at a time. Please note that this video is for educational purposes only and does not constitute medical advice. Always consult with a healthcare professional regarding any persistent sleep issues or changes to your health routine. If you found this breakdown helpful and want to master your biology for better health, make sure to subscribe to Snooze Mode and turn on notifications so you never miss our latest deep dives into the science of rest.